Good morning. It is now 7:59 a.m. and I woke up at like 7. But I didn't look at my phone. I didn't look here and see that it's been grid charging. That's why it's still at 91%. First of all, I don't understand why it's at 91%. That's very odd to me. It's just been grid charging relative to the amount that's going out, but somehow it's not at 100. It's at 91. It was on customized UPS. I had it set for the low 10%, the high 100%. I had it in charging mode only from 7:15 p.m. until 11:59 p.m. And I saw it stop last night, and I went to sleep. And I didn't stay up all night like I did the other day monitoring it. And so it was just grid charging. And I got it this morning. I was very disappointed that it was grid charging. The whole idea is to discharge. So I guess I didn't put it in discharging mode. And so it was charging. So I put it back on PV priority. It's really frustrating that I can't just set this and let it go. It just keeps grid charging as long as it's plugged in, and it's a little frustrating. I'm trying. So having trouble getting this thing to, so I had to turn grid charging off. I'm guessing I gotta put a discharge and have it from 0 to 19, 15, 19, okay, so it's not even taking it. So from 0, all right, so I gotta switch these. So period 2 is gonna be from 19. Listen, now I gotta start this all over. So this is gonna be from 0, 0 till 19, 15, and that's gonna be discharging. And then it's gonna be charging from 19, 15 till 23, 59. And this is going to be the charge. Because this thing is just not, it's not doing what I'm asking. I'm disappointed. So I disabled grid charging. So I wonder if I put that back on. I'm so disappointed. Like, guys, did that not make sense to you? If I have it charging only from 7:15 p.m. to 11:59 p.m., and then I have the SOC charging from 10% to 100. Where in that does it say I still wanted to continue to charge from the grid? So while I've been sleeping for the last 7 hours, it's been charging from the grid still. And somehow it still got down to 91%. It wasn't even charging to keep it at 100, which is standard UPS. So this customized UPS is just, so far, not working for me. PV priority worked for me, but it's like I would have to have it on PV priority during the day, and then I would have to switch it to timed priority at night, when customized priority is supposed to be a combination of both of those. So let's see if this works now that I have it discharging from midnight till 7:15 p.m. I have it charging from 7:15 p.m. until 11:59 p.m. and then let's see if it automatically goes back to PV priority again, because so far it's not doing it. I'm not trying to keep it at 10%, you know what I mean? It's like I don't want it to go below 10%. So if it hits 10%, I want it to come all the way back up to 100. I want it to charge up to 100. Once it gets to 100, I want it to stop charging and don't charge again until either 7:15 p.m. or 10%. So that's what my goal is. And for me to accomplish that, I have set it in working mode, customize UPS, put yes, grid charging status is enabled, time controlled status is enabled. I have my time setting. Period 1 is going to be discharged from midnight to 7:15 p.m. And then working mode will be charged from 7:15 p.m. until 11:59 p.m. And then my SOC low is 10%, my SOC high is 100. Now I know it does say the SOC high is when the battery is charged to this value. AC500 will stop charging by grid and leave the rest capacity for PV charging for economical purposes, which doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to me. Like, that's if I didn't want it to charge all the way up to 100, but I do. I want it to charge to 100, then I want it to stop grid charging. But it's like I have to go in here and turn the grid off. But right now, after the fact, and now I'm a little frustrated because now it's it's going to be nowhere near, like, it's about 5% an hour. So we have about 12 hours. So it's only going to use about 60%. We'll probably be at 30 at 7:15 tonight. And when we're at 30%, and it may be at higher than 30 because I'm going to hook up the solar panels. So it really should be higher than 30, right? Because the panels will keep it from discharging for a little while. So it'll slow the discharging down and we'll use less than 5% per hour. But at 5% per hour, right now, without any input, it's going to be down to about 30% tonight. So let's see what it's going to be at, since we are going to hook up the solar panels, and we're starting at 90% here at about 8 o'clock in the morning. So it would even be, disappointed, guys, disappointed. All right, so I plugged in the solar panels, 2 SP200s, 2 SP350s. Remember, one of my SP200s wasn't getting any voltage yesterday, so I didn't even bother trying to plug it in today. The 200s should be getting between 40 and 48 volts. And the 350s should be getting between 70 and 84 volts. So the 350s are getting relatively the right amount of voltage. The 200s are hovering around that. That's like the high is 40. Here, the low is about 70. The low should be 70, the high should be 84. The low should be 40 here, but it's not. Because it's 20 volts, and then the open circuit volts is 24. Here, the regular volts is 35, and the open circuit volts are 42. So that's the other thing that makes it hard to put more panels. So you're looking for the open circuit voltage. if we just looked at the regular volts, which we do for this relatively. So I don't know, with the Bluetti panels, you usually can just look at the main voltage number, which is for these 20. And the limit on like the DC charge enhancer is 60. I was still able to put 3 SP200s on the DC charge enhancer, so that's a good or a bad thing. It wasn't getting more than the 60 volts, which is the minimum voltage. Here, as you can see, this is getting more than the minimum voltage of 35 each, which would twice 35 is 70. It's getting a little more than that. So if we tried to base the amount that we could hook up to the 1500 watt MPPT charge controller, you would think that we could put, let's see, if we can go up to 150 volts, it would be 4. It would be 4 of those, because 35 times 4 is 140 volts, and we'd still have 10 volts to spare. But because the open circuit voltage is actually 42 for these, then you would think you can only hook 3 up. So it'll be interesting to see how many we can attach. Now, they're saying that we can have up to 3,000 watts coming into the solar, 1,500 on each MPPT charge controller. But how do you get up to that much, and how do you over panel if the voltage on these panels, the open circuit voltage, is so high, right? So yeah, again, for these we use the low for the DC charge enhancer, and even for these batteries, because you can have up to 60 volts coming into the battery, but it says it can do 500 watts. So I can over panel it and do the 600 watts based on that voltage. But as you can see, it's not getting up to that. Like, that is the high, even though it shouldn't be. But here, this is the low. So we have to consider those things and see how many we can connect together. So I don't plan on getting more SP200s at all. I would just use them for the batteries afterwards. I plan on getting another SP350 because I have 2 already, and that's more than enough for the battery. Or, I wouldn't want to just hook up 1 to the battery, or, 1 to any of the devices. So I just might as well finish that array to be up to the 150 volts and be able to hook it to one of these MPPT charge controllers and have the full amount that I can have. So I'm not sure if I can hook 4 up, but I will be getting the 3rd one hopefully soon here. I see that it still hasn't shipped. I'm going to check again today, and we'll see how that goes. So that's it for now. We're getting about 21 watts of solar. We are at 89%. When I hooked it up, we were at 90. We'll see where it goes. Let's see if it increases the capacity at all during the day, because I didn't really get to watch that for the last 2 days. So I want to see if the capacity goes up at all, or if it just pretty much stays the same. So we're going to take a look at that and see what happens. So we've gone back to our old configuration of having them all in a row instead of arced like they were, because that's why we weren't getting enough solar. So we went from getting 98 watts because it was this one, and then this one was sitting next to it, then that one was sitting there, and that one was sitting next to it. But now that they're all in a row like that, we're getting 250 something watts, which is still not a lot considering this is 1100 watts worth of panels out here. That's a lot of panels. And there are 2 200 watt panels, that's 400, and 2 350 watt panels, that's 7. 700 and 400 is 1100. And we had 1300 watts out here before. But I'll take 250 something over a 98 any day. So there we are. All right, so we are at 78%. As you saw, I just changed the configuration of the panels. So we're getting 280 some watts. That's good. We're almost matching what's going out. We started out at 91% this morning at about 7:15, somewhere around there this morning. And I was disappointed to find out that the grid had been charging since midnight to keep it, I don't even know, to keep it close to 100, because I'm not sure why it went down from 100 to 91 if the grid was still charging. But I did change things so that the grid is not charging now, so we are in discharging state. So let me just review that. So here we have our customized UPS, and we are currently in discharging mode. With customized UPS, the timed, it says that we charge from 7:15 p.m. to 11:59 p.m. and we discharge from 0, which is 12 midnight, until 7:15 p.m. It also has the PV priority at 10%. So if we do go all the way down to 10%, then we will start to charge. I'm not sure how that whole thing works. It doesn't seem like it charges all the way back up to 100. I'm not sure what the grid will do. We will find out if we get down to 10%. Yesterday, in just PV priority with the 10%, when it got down to 10%, it did start charging fully at 1600 watts, and it looked like it might charge up to 100, but I'm really not sure. It seems like standard UPS is the one that makes the charge up to 100 and and maintain the 100, not kind of, it maintains it at 100%. But in this case right now, we're just doing PV priority, so we're charging from solar. We're getting almost the same amount of solar as we are discharging, with 300 and some watts. I am doing some washing today and things like that. So we're just living our life and seeing if we can live off grid, or how much of our home we can take off grid. And by off grid, I mean on our private solar grid here that we are developing. So I'm glad to see that we're getting a decent amount of solar. But with 1100 watts of panels out there, getting 300 and something watts of solar is not a lot. It really isn't. And these are portable panels. These are Bluetti panels. Let's just take a look at what's going on. So I've got two 200 watt panels here, and together they're giving me about 150 watts of power. So out of 400 watts, I'm getting about 150 watts, not even 50%. Out of the two 350 watt panels, same thing. That's 700 watts worth of panels. I'm getting just shy of 200 watts. So that's not even close to, you know what I mean? Like, we're still quite a ways from half. And it's in the sun right now. This is our best time of day to get solar. Now, I do feel bad that I didn't change the configuration earlier today, so that at about 10:30, so we missed maybe an hour and a half of time that we could have gotten some better solar. But we're just going to take what we can get, and we will get this thing down where we have a routine and we have a system that we can charge up as much as we need to. So that is me checking in. It's 11:58 a.m. I'll check back in a little later. We're at 78%. We're doing pretty well here. We know we have enough capacity to last about 26 hours if it was just on PV priority. But we do plan on charging from 7:15 p.m. to 11:59 p.m. and just running it for the 19 hours and 15 minutes. But today it won't be, because it was grid charging this morning and we woke up to 91%. So this is what the plan is, and we'll try it again tomorrow to do it exactly as we planned. Let's see if this customized UPS works like it's supposed to. And we see we got 400. Let's see what we got. So we're finally getting close to 200. We're getting close to 50% with these two panels. And we're still far away from 50% with these two. But we're moving on up. So let's see how it goes. Checking in between all my cooking and cleaning. It is about 125. We did reposition the panels again, so now we're still getting 270 something watts. What's disappointing though, my SP200s are not even getting 100 watts together. They're getting up to 40 volts, but still not getting even 100 watts. My 350s, they still hover around 200. Sometimes they go above 200. Today, I don't think I've seen them go above 260. So it's a little disappointing. Because of this, we are at 77%. We are at 78, and we are now starting to decline a little bit from that 78%. I'd have to look at the app and see how much we pulled in today and compare it to what we had yesterday, because it doesn't tell you the daily amount of kilowatts of solar. It just tells you the cumulative amount of solar that has been pulled in. I wonder if that is on here. Let's see, input, output, PV input. Oh no, that's just the regular input. No, so I wanted to see if it would tell us the cumulative total, which is what Eco is on. No. So it doesn't tell you, but the app does. So give me a minute to find that figure. All right, checking in. We are now getting roughly 60 watts of solar, with 40 watts coming off of the 350s and 20 watts coming off of the 200s. It's not very good wattage. It's not good, very good efficiency, but we're getting something, okay? It's not charging from the grid. We've got a little less than 200 watts going out. We're at 75%, which is not bad. At 6:13 this morning, we were at 94%. So we have lost roughly 20% in the last, that was 6 o'clock, in the last 8 hours. A little more than 8, because it is 2:32 and it was 6:13, right? So that's 8 hours and 20 minutes or so. And we have lost just about 20%, or 19% to be more specific. So 19% in 8 hours. That's not bad at all. Okay, and that is due to our solar input. And I did check, it looked like yesterday we got about 700 watts, or 0.7 kilowatts total for the day. And today, so far, we were still at, we had gotten 0.7 as well. The first day, I think we got 0.2. The second day, we had 0.6. Third day, we had 0.7. That was yesterday. And today, when I checked, we had gotten 0.7 more. So we were at 2.2 kilowatts total. I do want to say that I checked my electric bill, and last year, November 21st, we had used 9.8 kilowatts for the month going into November 21st. And this year, going into November 20, that was into November 22nd. This year into November 21st, or it might be the other way around. But anyways, in November, we used 9.1 kilowatts. So we are 0.7 kilowatts less than last year. So it's interesting that we're getting 0.7 kilowatts a day here. And we used less power this month than we used last month. We actually saved $14 on our electric bill from last month to this month. My electric bill was down to $44.10. So it really does make a difference. And remember, that's before we had the right capacity to run our house on our private grid. So this off-grid journey of ours is a great journey. It is definitely worth it. The investment is not bad, and the residuals will come. You just have to look at the advantages. Number one, you have your private grid. Number two, you're using clean, available energy. Number three, you are more self-sufficient, more independent, and that's the goal. So we are doing well today. I have to check again and see if we had even more kilowatts. I will check on that. But so far we had our 0.7, which is what we have been getting on average. But of course, that was when the panels were in an arc shape as well, and we did move them to sit right behind each other like they used to, and we do get more wattage that way. But losing 19% in 8 hours, almost 8.5 hours, not bad. Not bad. So we weren't able to increase the capacity with our solar. We don't have a large enough solar array for it to go up to 100%, but we do have enough solar coming in that it decreases the frequency at which our capacity goes down. And that's all we can do for now. But we will continue to increase our solar array and see what we can do about that so that we can get more solar energy and maintain, and then hopefully increase the capacity with solar. Get all the way back up to 100 with solar and eliminate having to charge off the grid at all. But as it stands, we're using the customized UPS, and this will start charging tonight at about 7:15 p.m. So we have about 4 hours and something, a little over 4 hours left before it starts to charge itself back up, and then it'll charge back up to 100. And I'm hoping it will stop charging after it does that, because I have it set to discharge at midnight. So yesterday I did not set it to discharge. I only had a charging mode in there, but now I also have a discharge mode. So let me just show you that just in case you missed that video. What I'm referring to is the working mode. We have a customized UPS. We have grid charging enabled and time control enabled. So our time setting, we have working mode in discharge from midnight to 7:15 p.m. and we have it in charging mode from 7:15 to 11:59. Yesterday I only had this charging mode and I didn't have a discharge. So what it did was it continued to charge, and I'm not even sure what the rate of charge was, but it continued to charge and kept it at about 90-something% throughout the night. That's why it was at 94 at 6:13 today. This morning is because it was still pulling from the grid. It just wasn't pulling a lot. It wasn't trying to get it back up to 100. And then my SOC, my low is at 10%, my high is at 100, because I would, if it gets as far down as 10%, I would like the grid to just charge it. And I'd like it to charge up to 100, but I'm not sure that that's really what it would do. But I do have it set this way, and that's what I'm thinking would make sense if that was the case, if that is what it does. The low should be where you want it to start charging, the high should be where you want it to stop charging, and then leave it to PV after that. And so that's how I have it set. Last night I was disappointed that it didn't stop charging. I was asleep and I did not check on it until 6 this morning to find out that the grid was still on. So hopefully tonight it will stop charging at 11:59, and then at midnight it will be in discharge mode. So it will stop charging from the grid and just wait for PV to start again in the morning. But I'm glad we're still getting some PV here. Look at that. It may not be very much, but we're getting 26 off of our SP200s, and we're getting about 56 off of our SP350s. We're still getting something. We're still getting roughly 80%. 80 watts. I'll take it. It's keeping it at 75. It's kept it at 75 for a while. So I'll take it. That's it for now. All right, so I haven't checked in quite a few hours. It is now 9:11 p.m. and as you can see, we are charging fully from the grid. We are at 90 something percent. I apologize. I totally was not paying attention. But let's see, it's been on for just about an hour. So that means, what were we down to? Oh, just about 2 hours, I'm sorry. And it charges about 20% per hour. So I know I did see 59% earlier. Not sure exactly what time it was. I'm thinking it was 6 something though. We still had about an hour left before it would charge from the grid. So let's say it was in the 50s. 20% from that will take it to the 70s, and 20% from that will take it to the 90s. So yeah, that sounds about right. So it got down to 50 something percent. We were at 70 something the last I checked, and that was in the afternoon when we were still getting solar. We were holding at 75%. I think it was 2:30 or so. So that's not bad. It's not bad. It went down 20% going into 6 o'clock hour. And we were probably at 50 something in the 7 o'clock hour when this started. So not bad. So we will check back and see if it charges up to 100%, maintains 100% until 11:59, and then stops charging. That's the thing. Will it stop charging at midnight? So we will check back in.